Hey DXers, so today I'm going to wrap up the ERP Data Preparation to jumpstart your ERP implementation.
Welcome to the Digital Transformation Academy. My name is Dennis Hilario and I'm here to help you in your digital transformation journey. Let the show begin.
So welcome to the podcast. My name is Dennis Hilario and I give the best thoughts and tips about digital transformation, innovation, productivity, and in this particular topic or series will be the ERP or business process automation. So today is Thursday, April 15, and I'd like to apologize to you guys because I've been busy with consecutive meetings with our current business, which is my bread and butter, H-Core, which is a good problem. We've been doing some implementation for several projects now. Some are a group of companies, so I've been really tied up with the schedules. Again, I'd like to apologize to you guys for not being consistent, and I still try my best to do it, at least write a blog or post something. On top of that, I've also been distracted with my recent I would like to say a spark of my passion in music. I think this is the first time that I'm going to share this to you, that I've been passionate with music, particularly playing instruments like guitar, piano, and whatnot. And since the pandemic has started or the lockdown has started, I've been posting or recording cover songs. I have iterated a short history of this in my music channel that I recently um, reopened. I've been updating for quite a while now, almost every week. I've been posting new covers, collaborating with my daughter, my significant other, and some talented people in my circle of influence. I've been distracted because I'd like to in everything that I do, I always make sure that I have a purpose, and I've been contemplating that purpose. And fortunately, I was able to define, which I shared in my other channel, my music channel, that I will also link up in the description box below. But again, I'm trying my best to catch up with you guys. And I think in my last episode, I talked about how to prepare the ERP data master list to start the implementation of your ERP. And for this episode, I'm going to talk about some topics, particularly I am sharing some free forms and reports layout that you can use, or you can discuss with your ERP vendor. You can share it to them and see if they can customize it, or if what they have is something similar already with these templates, then that's well and good. On top of that, I'm going to be discussing how to set up or prepare controls, roles, and how to set up approval processes. And not really set up, but preparation of this data, so that actually I'm going to discuss this in my next series on how to set them up with some sample screens that I will share with you eventually. And then the last part would be the preparation of the beginning balances that you can use during your user acceptance test and when you do the go live. Okay, so let's jump right to the free forms and reports layout. I'm gonna link up the templates here. Probably a quick story. I remember the day when I prepared my first billing statement to our client sometime when I was new in the business. So it was very embarrassing because it took me or it took us 5 revisions before the client accepted the format that of the billing statement with our project. And that's the first time I learned the things that are needed for you to bill a client, particularly the billing number or invoice number, a descriptive caption of what are you billing, and the breakdown of the fees, the VAT, and some customer details with the tax identification number of your customer and your company, which is put in the header of the billing, and of course the billing signatory. So that's where I learned the importance of these forms, these accountability forms. And again, I will link up these templates that we have, the forms and sample reports that you can also share with your organization and or your ERP vendors, so that you can agree on how to implement or customize these standard templates. Okay, so that is it for the free forms. I think all you have to do is just download from the link, download these templates. It is in PDF format. Some of them, I think, in the reports are in spreadsheet or Excel format. Okay, you can use it. Feel free to use it or share it with your friends or your affiliates and whatnot. Okay, so the next topic I would like to discuss is how to prepare controls for your ERP system. So, in a typical ERP system, there's always a feature where you can define user roles or responsibilities that defines the access rights of a particular user. So these roles are defined in terms of what particular functions, features, or windows that a particular role can access. So these are access rights. And then these roles will now or should be now assigned to a particular person and an employee who has depending on the actual responsibility of the employee. So for instance, if you are an AP clerk, so the role that is assigned to you will always be related to accounts payable, like AP voucher, AP debit memo, and AP related reports like AP register or accounts payable aging report. So these things vary actually depending on the organizational structure of your entity. I think the role setup is pretty much easy to understand. All you have to do is identify the different functions of your employee based on your organizational chart, and you just define it in preparation for your ERP implementation, so that when you set up your ERP, all you have to do is refer to that matrix of roles and functions for your company. So the next control feature of a typical ERP system is the approval workflow. So especially now that ERP systems are web-based, so you can easily submit transactions and approve it online via browser, regardless or if the approver is within the office premises or outside the office. Refers to the preparation, review, approval of and posting of each transaction. So for example, if you prepare a purchase order, you have to identify who are the specific role or employee that has rights to submit the prepared purchase order for approval of a particular supervisor, manager, or the owner. Okay, so there are also features like in our own ERP system, where in a particular document like purchase order, you can define amount limits. So for example, for 0 to 99,999.99 peso purchase order, then you can set specific users who has rights or who have rights to prepare and submit those level of transaction or purchase order. And then of course you set an approver for that particular amount limit. And then for another level like 100,000 peso and above, then you also set who are specific users who will be allowed to prepare that level of transaction. And then again, you also set the approver of that particular amount limit for that particular transaction type, which is a purchase order. So basically, how the system behaves normally is that if say a user one prepares a PO with the amount of 90,000 peso, then it goes to the approver of that 0 to 99,000 range. And then if the user now prepares a PO of say 120,000 peso, then there will be another hierarchy of approvers who will be the one to approve that particular type of transaction. Okay, so but take note that these particular features in ERP systems is not available to all ERP products or ERP software. So you have to take note of your requirement in terms of business workflow, and then from there you'll be able to map it to the ERP vendors who are willing to provide service to your organization. So same with role definition, this varies depending on the control level you'd like to implement in your organization. So this is an important aspect in ERP or ERP implementation that promotes control procedures to avoid posting errors and stimulate organizational accountability. You can also use KPIs later on of this particular or each role in the company or each function so that you can measure them and provide incentives in the future. So the last topic in the ERP data preparation, to wrap this up, is the setup of the beginning balance. So the first step in setting up your beginning balances is to choose the cut-off period. So some companies use the latest audited financial statements as their beginning balance for the current period, or some others they use the last or latest interim financial statements as their beginning balances. So there are pros and cons if you use the latest audited financial statement or if you use the latest interim financial statement. So one advantage in using your latest audited financial statements is that you'll be able to build your data from the first period of the year, which is basically normally January in a calendar year, and then catch up to the current period that you have. But if you're in the middle of the year, say July, so the disadvantage of doing that is that you have to encode transactions from January 1 to present to catch up from your beginning balances. So some companies, they just implement the latest interim financial statement so that they will not catch up bulk of data to catch up with the current period. So to me personally, I always recommend to use the latest interim financial statements because so that you can easily realize or get your return on your investments the soonest possible time. Because once you set up the beginning balance based on your latest interim, for example, the month of April, so your latest interim financial statements should be March, ending of March. So the transactions that you'll just re-encode is from April 1 up to the current day. So it will not be voluminous in terms of catching up of transactions. Okay, so but pretty much the items that you need to prepare, of course, is first is your general ledger balances, which refers to your chart of accounts balances for a particular or the chosen period. So normally this is your working trial balance as of the selected cut-off period. And then the subsidiary ledgers. For your receivables, these are your open sales invoices. So on a per sales invoice that are not yet paid, that will serve as your subsidiary ledger for your AR. And then for your AP would be your open vouchers payable or accounts payable voucher. And then for your bank or cash management, your balances or book balances per bank account. For your inventory would be your inventory count plus its value. And then your fixed asset now would be your property listing or fixed asset listing together with its book value, running depreciation balance, some information like serial numbers, property tags or custodian if applicable. And again, some people or some companies don't have a balance sheet, so that will be a big problem in ERP implementation, because if you don't build or set up your balance sheet, the items that I mentioned, that will defeat the purpose of implementing an ERP system, because the balance sheet validates all the balances that you'd like to see in your reports. Okay, so lastly, or last thought here is that of course, if you are under user acceptance testing stage or UAT, so if you have challenges in preparing these beginning balances, then you can come up with an interim balances just for the purpose of testing your ERP. But please take note of your target go live, so that you'll be able to know when to really come up with the accurate balances, or at least close to accurate balances by the time you go live. Because if you put garbage there, then the garbage will be the output as well. Garbage in, garbage out, as they always say in this ERP solutions development and implementation. Okay, so that will be the last topic about ERP data preparation series. So in my next series, I'll talk about organizational setup and the setup and some sample processes and transaction entries for each module, from accounting, inventory, procurement, and whatnot. So I think that is it for now for this episode. And again, I hope I can be consistent again in posting valuable content such as this, so that I can help small businesses in their digital transformation or business process automation. I actually have so many plans or planned content. Like I said, this is my commitment for the rest of my life, to help these small businesses in this endeavor in digitalization, because this has been my expertise for the past 20 years, and I love to share my experience and knowledge in this particular niche. So if you like this episode, I appreciate if you smash the like button, so that some other people can also find this valuable information to help them out in their business process automation. And I will also appreciate if you subscribe to this channel in whatever platform you are consuming this, so that you'll get up to date of my future post such as this. So my planned post is like an epic video about my workshops, like accounting starter digital course, and then my one-on-one coaching in BPA or business process automation, if you'd like to fast track your knowledge. And then soon, hopefully next month, I'll be able naman to uh, discuss human resource management, particularly timekeeping, payroll management, and anything related to team satisfaction and team management. Okay, so that is it for now. Thank you so much for listening or watching this episode. And the pandemic has not subsided yet. I hope you guys are well, and you have to, or all of us have to stay safe, stay in their homes, so that this will eventually end. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching this or listening. DX Your Life in Business. Have a great day.